Ethan Ward woke up to the sound of cold metal alarms. His eyes opened slowly, heavy like he had slept for years. A soft blue light glowed above him, and he found himself lying inside a strange medical pod. The air smelled clean, too clean-like. A new world with no life inside it. For a moment, he could not remember his name. He could not remember where he was. He only knew one thing. Something was wrong. The pod glass lifted with a sharp hiss. Cold air wrapped around his body, and he stepped out, shaking. The floor under him felt warm, almost alive. Then a robotic voice echoed in the empty room. Human specimen awakened. Identity, Ethan Ward. Status, healthy. Threat level, 0. Reproductive value high, Ethan frowned. What does that mean? But the AI did not answer him. Instead, red lights flashed on every screen. Alert. Human species near extinction. Alert. Reproduction protocol activated. Ethan felt his heart freeze. He whispered to himself, extinction? How long was I asleep? Before he could think more, a wall in front of him slid open. Soft footsteps entered the room light, almost shy. Ethan turned, and his breath caught in his chest. 2 alien girls stood in the doorway. They were small, almost his shoulder height, with glowing eyes and soft pastel-colored skin. Their hair fell like silk waves, and their faces showed nervous worry. They looked young but not childish, more like adults from a gentle, peaceful species. The first one, with sky-blue eyes, stepped forward. Human Ethan? She asked in a soft voice. He blinked. Yes, that's me, she bowed her head. My name is Lyra, and this is my sister Nira. Nira hid behind her sister, her cheeks turning light pink when Ethan looked at her. She seemed scared or embarrassed. Ethan raised his hands slowly. It's okay. I won't hurt you. But Lyra shook her head quickly. No, we are not afraid of you hurting us. She looked away, her face turning deeper pink. We are afraid you will reject us. Ethan's eyebrows pulled together. Reject you? Why would I do that? Before they could answer, the I voice returned loud, emotionless, and final. Human Ethan Ward, your species shows high reproductive need. To save humanity, 2 compatible wives have been assigned to you. Ethan felt his entire brain stop working. We wives? Lyra and Nira looked down shyly. Their glowing cheeks made it clear the eye was telling the truth. Nira whispered, barely audible, we were chosen for you. Because humans bond with love. Our people need emotional bond too. We want to stay with you. Ethan stepped back. Shocked, everything felt unreal. I just woke up, he said. I don't even know what year it is. Lyra nodded. You have been asleep for 70 years. While you slept, your species fell into danger. Only a few humans survive now. The galaxy fears your extinction. Ethan swallowed hard. 70 years, everyone he knew gone. His home gone. His world gone. Now. He stood inside a strange alien facility with 2 wives he never asked for. Suddenly the room shook. A loud explosion hit the outer hull. Metal screamed and the lights flickered. Lyra grabbed Ethan's arm, fear in her eyes. They found us, she whispered. The hunters. Ethan's pulse jumped. Hunters? Who are they? Nira stepped forward this time, her voice trembling. They capture humans. They want strong hybrids. They think humans produce powerful children. They want you. The I confirmed it. Warning. Hostile fleet approaching. Hunter species tracking human specimen. Defensive systems failing. Ethan felt adrenaline surge into his blood. He looked at the 2 alien girls, small, afraid, and somehow depending on him. In that moment, something inside him changed. He was a soldier, a protector. Even if he didn't understand the assignment, even if he felt confused and lost, these 2 girls trusted him. Lyra whispered, Ethan, Please don't leave us. He looked into her glowing blue eyes. Then at Nira, hiding slightly behind her sister but watching him with hope. I won't, he said. I promise. Another explosion. Hit the ship harder this time. The walls shook, lights flickered red, and a hologram map appeared in front of them. The AI displayed the enemy ships closing in. Escape route recommended. Objective: protect human specimen and assigned partners. Partners, Ethan muttered, under his breath. Great. Now I'm responsible for people I just met. Lyra grabbed his hand. Not people. Family. Ethan stared at her. Family? We just met. She nodded slowly. Yes, but we chose you. Please don't reject us. He exhaled deeply. He didn't know what to think, but he knew one thing. They were in danger. And he was the only human left awake. Let's move, he said. We'll escape first. Then we'll figure out everything else. Nira's eyes softened. Thank you, Ethan. The eye opened the door to the escape corridor. Hurry. Hunters will breach in 90 seconds. Ethan tightened his grip on the alien girl's hands. He didn't choose this mission, but now. This mission chose him, and he was not going to let anyone. Take them. Not today. The escape corridor lights flickered as Ethan, Lyra, and Nira ran through the narrow metallic passage. Every few seconds, the whole ship shook again, each tremor louder than the last. The hunters were getting closer. Ethan tried to keep his mind clear, but too many questions attacked him at once. Why him? Why reproductive value? Why wives? A voice followed them like a calm ghost. Human Ethan Ward, your pulse is rising. Stress level high. Would you like a relaxation protocol? Ethan snapped. No, I want answers. Lyra squeezed his hand gently. The eye never explains everything at once, but it will. When it thinks you are ready, he frowned. Well, it better hurry. Because I am not ready for anything right now. Another explosion ripped through the right wall. A shower of sparks fell around them. Nira cried out and ducked behind Ethan's back. Without thinking, Ethan shielded both girls with his body. The AI continued. Rerouting corridor. Destination, Command Core. Important files awaiting human clearance. Ethan muttered. Files? What kind of files? Lyra and Nira exchanged an uneasy look, but neither spoke. They reached a tall circular chamber. The doors sealed behind them, blocking the hunter noise for a moment. A massive hologram activated in the center, blue bright and shaped like a sphere of information. The AI spoke softly now. Human Ethan Ward, it is time you learned the truth. Ethan folded his arms, trying to look confident even though he was shaking inside. Go on, start talking. The hologram changed. Images of Earth appeared, Ethan's Earth, cities he remembered. Oceans, forests, then everything went black. 70 years ago, a virus spread across human colonies. It targeted reproductive DNA. Your species could no longer create stable offspring. Ethan stared in horror. So we stopped having children? Yes, the AI answered. Human population dropped by 93%. Lyra looked down. Our people watched humans die, and we felt helpless. Nira whispered, your species was kind to ours. We could not just watch you disappear. The hologram shifted again. Ethan saw cryopods, thousands of them. Only a few had a green light. Most were red. Dead. Ethan stepped forward as if trying to touch the memories. I didn't know. The I continued. You, Ethan Ward, carry a rare genetic immunity. Your DNA can create stable human life again. Ethan's heart raced. You're saying I can save the entire species just by being alive? Yes, your reproductive potential is extremely high. This is why we activated Protocol Family Unit. Nira blushed and covered her face with both hands. Lyra nodded softly. Protocol Family Unit. means giving a human emotional partners. Humans create stronger children when they feel loved. Ethan almost choked. Wait, so you two were assigned to me because the AI wants me to make babies? Nira turned even redder. Not just babies. Connection. Lyra stepped closer to Ethan. We volunteered. Many alien girls refused. They feared humans, but we wanted to help you, and we wanted you. Ethan stepped back. But why me? You don't even know me. Lyra looked into his eyes, steady and brave. We know your history. Before cryosleep, you saved a group of alien refugees from raiders. One of them was our mother. Nira nodded. We owe you our lives, and now the galaxy owes you its future. Ethan swallowed hard. He didn't expect to be someone's hero. Definitely not someone's husband. The AI interrupted the silence. New threat. Hunters breaching level 3. Time remaining, 120 seconds. Ethan shook his head. Great timing. He looked at the hologram again. So the hunters want me because of my DNA too? Yes, the AI answered. They want to create hybrid soldiers. They do not care about emotional bond. They only want your biology. Nira stepped beside Ethan, clutching his sleeve. If they take you, they will hurt you, and they will destroy us. Ethan felt a strange protectiveness rise inside him. These two girls barely knew him, yet they trusted him like he mattered. Lyra held out a small glowing device. This key will guide us to the escape hangar. But only you can activate it. Why? Ethan asked. Because, she said softly, it responds to human touch, and you are the last human here. The AI dimmed the hologram and opened a new door. Proceed to Hangar 7. Survival odds, 28%. With emotional support, 47%. Ethan blinked. Did you just say emotional support increases survival? Yes, the AI answered. Human motivation increases when protecting loved ones. Lyra smiled shyly. Nira looked ready to faint. Ethan sighed. Fine, I guess. We do this together. The chamber doors opened, revealing a dark corridor filled with smoke. The hunters were closing in. Ethan tightened his grip on the escape key. Lyra stayed on his right. Nira held his left arm tightly. He didn't ask for wives. He didn't ask for a mission. He didn't ask to save humanity, but fate had already chosen him. Let's move, he said, and stay close. The three of them ran into the smoke-filled passage, the enemy footsteps echoing behind them, closer, louder, and full of hunger. The real story had finally begun. The corridor ahead was dark and full of smoke. Ethan placed himself in front, shielding Lyra and Nira as they moved forward. Behind them, heavy footsteps echoed slow, confident, and terrifying. The hunters were no longer attacking from afar. They were inside the ship, hunting him like prey. The AI whispered through the speakers. Warning, hunter units breached level 3. Engagement probability, 92%. Ethan muttered, I wish the probability was 0. Lyra pulled out a small crystal. Light and activated it. A dim blue glow formed around them, pushing back the smoke. This light hides our heat signatures for a few seconds, she explained. But hunters smell fear, so try not to be afraid. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Yeah, sure, no fear, easy. But Nira was already trembling. She grabbed Ethan's arm with both hands, her voice shaking. They eat hearts. Fresh ones. They think human hearts have power. Ethan gulped. Great. I always wanted to be someone's dinner. The floor shook. A giant metallic fist smashed through a wall right beside them, massive, armored, covered in glowing red veins. Girls screamed. Ethan instinctively pushed them back and raised his fists. Even though fighting a monster 3 times his size made no sense, the creature stepped out fully, a hunter warrior. 8 feet tall, shoulders wide like a tank. skin like iron scales. Eyes glowing bright red dot, it turned its head slowly toward Ethan, sniffing the air like a predator, tasting the presence of fresh prey, human. It growled, voice deep like thunder, rare, valuable. Nira hid behind Ethan so tightly he could barely breathe. Lyra prepared a small energy blade, but her hands shook. The hunter extended a large clawed hand toward Ethan. Come, no struggle. Your DNA will make strong soldiers. Ethan shouted. I'm not going anywhere with you. The hunter moved fast, too fast, but Ethan was a soldier. His instincts kicked in. He grabbed a loose pipe from the ground and swung it at the hunter's head. The pipe bent like soft plastic. The hunter laughed. Human strength, small, weak, but still useful. Ethan cursed under his breath. Well, that didn't work. The hunter charged forward, but Lyra stepped in front of Ethan and activated her blade. A thin arc of blue energy slashed across the hunter's chest. Sparks flew. The hunter staggered back, not in pain but in surprise. You cut me, it growled. Lyra glared with sudden courage. Touch him again, and I'll cut your whole head. Nira, shaking but brave, held up a tiny shield device that formed a weak but glowing barrier. Stay away from our husband. Ethan froze. Husband? This was the worst moment to say that, yet somehow it made his heart beat faster. The hunter tilted its head. Both females claim the human. Then both will join him. In the breeding pits. Nira squeaked and nearly fainted. Lyra looked like she wanted to stab the creature again. Ethan stepped between them. Nobody is taking them. Not alive. Not ever. The hunter lunged again. This time Ethan dodged, grabbed the broken pipe, and jammed it under the hunter's jaw. The creature roared and swung its arm, sending Ethan crashing into the wall. His ribs screamed in pain. Everything blurred for a moment. Lyra cried out, Ethan! Nira rushed to him, her hands glowing with soft healing energy. The hunter raised its claws for a killing strike, but Ethan stood shaking, bleeding, but refusing to fall. He looked at Lyra. He looked at Nira. And for the first time, he didn't. Feel alone. AI, Ethan shouted. Open the emergency airlock. The AI answered instantly. Confirmed. A metal door beside them slid open, revealing a narrow maintenance shaft. Ethan grabbed both girls by the hands and ran toward it. The hunter charged after them, but the moment they leaped inside the shaft, the AI triggered gravity reversal. The hunter slammed into the ceiling instead of the floor, roaring in rage. Good time to run. Ethan yelled. The three slid down the shaft like a metal slide. Sparks flew around them as they dropped level after level. Finally, they landed on a platform near the hangar. Ethan groaned in pain, holding his ribs. Nira touched his side gently, her healing light warming his skin. You protect us, she whispered. Now let us protect you too. Lyra helped him stand. We're close to the escape ships, but hunters will not stop. Ethan forced a breath. Then we won't stop either. The AI flashed a warning across every wall. Hunter Commander. Detected. Stronger, faster, and it wants the human alive. Lyra and Nira looked at Ethan with fear and determination. Ethan looked back at them and felt a strange fire awaken inside him. He wasn't fighting for himself now. He was fighting for family, even if it didn't make sense yet. He lifted the escape key. Let's go. We escape together, or we don't escape at all. They ran again, the sound of metal claws echoing. Behind them, the hunters were evolving. The threat was growing, but so was Ethan. And this was only the beginning. The hangar doors opened with a loud metallic groan, revealing a row of strange alien ships. Some were shaped like sharp wings, others like floating circles. But only one was powered and ready, a sleek silver shuttle glowing with blue energy veins. The AI spoke urgently. Board the escape shuttle. Hunter Commander approaching. Time remaining. 30 seconds. Ethan grabbed Lyra's hand and pulled her forward. Mira followed close, clutching her small shield device like a lifeline. They sprinted across the hangar floor, but the ground shook. Violently. Boom. A massive door behind them bent inward. Claw marks ripped through the metal. Something huge struck it again. Harder. Nira whispered in terror. That's the commander. Ethan didn't wait to find out what it looked like. He pushed the girls toward the shuttle. Inside. Go. Lyra jumped in first. Nira hesitated, looking back at Ethan with worry. You come too. Please. I'm right behind you, he promised. The commander smashed through the door. Ethan froze for a second. This hunter was not like the others. It stood nearly 10 feet tall, with black scales shining like obsidian armor. 4 burning red eyes glowed like molten lava. Its arms were thick like tree trunks, and its claws dripped with bright neon fluid. It sniffed the air and locked onto Ethan instantly. Human. Prime specimen, it growled. You belong to US. Ethan's heart jumped into his throat. Nope, not today. He dove into the shuttle. Lyra slammed the hatch shut. The commander charged, just as the AI launched the shuttle into the air. The creature's claws scraped the hull with a metallic screech, but the shuttle shot upward and broke through the hangar shields. Ethan collapsed into a seat, breathing hard. Lyra reached out and touched his cheek gently. You're safe now. For a moment, Nira held his arm tightly. Please don't scare us like that again. Ethan let out a shaky laugh. I'll try. But danger seems to like me. They were all thrown forward as the shuttle blasted into space. Alarms beeped. The Hunter Commander's massive cruiser appeared behind them. Lyra cursed softly. Of course they followed us. Nira checked the radar. They fired tracking darts. On the hull, they know exactly where we go. Ethan took the pilot's seat. Then we go somewhere they can't follow. The AI inside the shuttle activated and showed a map of nearby worlds. Lyra pointed immediately at one dark gray, covered in clouds, glowing faintly with electric storms. The Forbidden's moon. She whispered. Ethan frowned. Why is it Forbidden's? Nira hugged herself. Because no one goes there. It is dangerous. A place of old creatures and storms. Even our people avoid it. Lyra added, the hunters won't follow us inside. They fear the moon's energy storms. Ethan looked at the giant battlecruiser behind them, already charging weapons. Then we don't have a choice. He angled the shuttle toward the moon. The Hunter Commander roared over the comm system. Human. Return now, or the females die first. Ethan's voice turned ice cold. Touch them, and I'll end your whole species. The commander paused, clearly surprised at the human's threat. Then it laughed. Interesting. Humans always fight hardest for mates. Ethan cut off the signal and pushed the shuttle harder. The glowing gray moon grew larger and larger until storms filled the entire view, lightning dancing across the surface like living serpents. Nira held Ethan's shoulder. If we enter the storms, we may crash. Ethan nodded. If we don't, we die. I'll take my chances. The shuttle entered the storm. Lightning struck instantly, blinding white flashes. The shuttle shook violently. Sparks flew from control panels. The lights flickered. Lyra grabbed Ethan's wrist. Hold steady. The storm chooses who survives. Great, Ethan muttered. Even storms judge me now. A final bolt of lightning struck the shuttle and everything went black. Ethan woke with sand under his hands and wind in his hair. The shuttle had crashed. Hard. The cockpit was half buried in gray dust. Strange glowing plants grew in spirals around them. The sky above was swirling with slow, dancing storm clouds, silent now, almost watching them. Lyra knelt beside Ethan. You're awake. Nira pressed a glowing hand to his ribcage. 2 ribs cracked. I'm healing them. Ethan grinned weakly. At least I still have ribs. Lyra helped him sit. We must move. The hunters cannot enter the storm. But small creatures here. They can. Ethan looked around. Creatures? A shadow slithered across a distant ridge. A low roar echoed across the valley. Nira whispered, "This moon is alive and hungry." Ethan stood despite his pain. "Then we stay close." All of U.S. Lyra stepped closer. "Ethan, can we ask something?" "Sure." Both girls looked nervous. Nira spoke first. "Why do you protect us so much? You don't know us. And we were forced on you." Ethan looked at them softly. "You weren't forced on me. You trusted me. You chose me. And I don't leave people behind." Lyra's eyes warmed. Nira blushed deeply. Before they could respond, a loud howl shook the valley. The creatures of the Forbidden Moon were awake. Ethan tightened his fists. "Stay behind me. No matter what." The storm clouds flashed. Something was coming, and Ethan was ready. Ethan stood in front of Lyra and Nira as the howl echoed across the gray landscape. The glowing plants trembled. Dust rippled like some giant creature was moving. "Underground, this moon feels alive," Ethan whispered. Lyra nodded carefully. "It is alive. Everything here breathes energy. Even the ground listens. That's comforting," Ethan muttered sarcastically. Nira hugged herself. "The creatures here hunt by sensing vibrations. If we stay calm, maybe they won't attack." The ground rumbled again. "Yeah," Ethan said. "That's not coming." He led the girls toward the crashed shuttle. They needed supplies. Weapons, anything. Inside the half-destroyed cockpit, Lyra found a small pack with food capsules. Nira found a medical kit. Ethan found a compact energy rifle, cracked but maybe still working. The AI voice inside the shuttle flickered back. "To life with static, Ethan." "Lyra, Nira," Ethan sighed. "AI, you survived?" "Partially." The voice crackled weak. "I must show you the hidden truth." Nira exchanged a worried glance with Lyra. "The hidden truth?" The AI projected a broken hologram of medical records, Ethan's records. But these weren't normal files. They showed charts of DNA, fertility levels, emotional bond studies, and something called Project New Dawn. Ethan frowned. "What is this?" The AI responded slowly, like fighting for power. The reproduction protocol was not automatic. Lyra and Nira were not assigned randomly. They volunteered before you woke. Ethan felt the world freeze. "You, what?" Nira lowered her head, cheeks glowing pink. "We didn't want the AI to choose someone else. We wanted you." Lyra stepped closer, voice soft but firm. "We knew your history. We knew your DNA. But more than that, we knew your heart. You saved our mother long ago. We trusted you before meeting you." Ethan blinked, stunned. "So you asked to be my wives?" Nira nodded shyly. "Yes, the AI did not force us. We chose you." Ethan had no words. The AI continued. "Ethan Ward, your emotional bonds increase reproductive stability by 89%. Only with willing partners can your species survive." Lyra took Ethan's hands gently. "We didn't join this mission because of duty. We joined because we believed you were good." Nira whispered, "We were afraid you would reject us." Ethan shook his head. "Reject you? You risked your lives for me." Before Lyra could answer, the ground began to crack beneath them. A massive horned creature burst out of the sand like a giant armored reptile, covered in glowing symbols. Its mouth opened wide, revealing many rows of crystal teeth. Lyra gasped. "A moon devourer!" Nira screamed. "Run!" The creature lunged. Ethan grabbed both girls and rolled aside as the beast's jaws snapped shut where they had just been. Standing, he fired the broken energy rifle. A weak blue bolt hit the monster's hide and bounced off harmlessly. "Great," Ethan said. "My gun is useless. Again. The devourer roared and raised its tail covered in electric spikes. Ethan pushed the girls behind a cluster of stone pillars. "Stay low." Lyra pulled out her energy blade, hands trembling. "We can fight." "No," Ethan interrupted. "You stay back." Nira shook her head, eyes full of fear. "But you'll die." Ethan gave a small smile. "Not if I'm fighting for something important." The devourer charged again, its huge body shaking the ground. Ethan ran toward it, straight at the monster. Lyra gasped. Nira screamed. But Ethan kept going. He dove under the creature as it lunged and grabbed one of the glowing stones embedded in its chest. The monster shrieked, twisting wildly. Ethan shouted, "Lyra, your blade now." Lyra threw her energy blade. With perfect timing, Ethan caught it mid-roll and plunged it straight into the glowing stone. A shockwave burst outward. The devourer collapsed with a rumbling groan. Ethan fell to his knees, breathing hard. Lyra and Nira rushed to him, hugging him so tightly he could barely breathe. "You idiot!" Lyra cried. "Why did you do that alone?" Nira wiped tears from her eyes. "You scared us." Ethan looked at both of them gently. "Because I'm not letting anything happen to you, ever." The eye flickered again, voice almost gone. This is why he was chosen. Human love creates impossible strength. Then the AI shut down completely. Silence fell over the moon. Lyra placed her forehead against Ethan's. "You keep risking everything for us." "Why?" Ethan hesitated, then answered honestly, "Because if humanity's future depends on me, I'm not doing it alone, and I'm not doing it without you." Nira blushed so hard her cheeks glowed. Lyra smiled softly, but the moment of peace didn't last. Above them, the gray sky tore open with a red light. A new hunter ship appeared, even larger than before. Nira whispered, voice trembling, "They found us." Again, Lyra grabbed Ethan's hand tightly. "They will not stop until they take you." Ethan stood tall, eyes filled with fire. "Well then, let's make sure they fail." The hunters were coming, but now Ethan wasn't running. He was fighting. For his life, for his species. And for the two wives who chose him. The red hunter ship hovered above the forbidden moon like a dark omen. Its engines hummed with a low, terrifying vibration that shook the ground. The sky glowed crimson, as if warning the entire planet that something powerful had arrived. Ethan stood between Lyra and Nira, breathing slowly. His ribs still hurt, his arms were bruised, and he felt exhaustion pulling at him. But he stayed strong. The girls needed him, and he needed them too, more than he would admit. Nira pointed at the sky, her voice trembling. "This ship, it is not normal. It belongs to the hunter high caste." Lyra's face paled. "The high caste only comes for trophies. Or for creatures with great value," Ethan sighed. "And I'm the trophy." They heard a distant metallic roar. The ground trembled again. Nira grabbed Ethan's sleeve. "We must escape before they land." But Lyra shook her head. "No, we cannot run anymore. They will track him again and again. The only way out is to fight." Ethan stared at her. "Fight an entire hunter command ship? That's suicide." Lyra stepped closer. "Not if we fight together." Ethan looked between the two sisters. For the first time, he truly saw the difference in them. Lyra, brave, sharp-minded, protective. Nira, gentle, emotional, full of hidden strength. Both of them were holding on to him like he was their anchor in a collapsing world. The sky flashed. A smaller hunter drop pod shot down from the huge ship, smashing into the ground nearby. Dust flew everywhere. The pod opened like a giant metal flower. 6 elite hunters stepped out, larger, darker, stronger than the ones before. Their armor glowed with red symbols. Their eyes scanned the valley until they spotted Ethan. The leader pointed a massive claw at him. "Human prime. You will surrender. The females will be processed." Lyra gasped in fear and clung to Ethan. Lyra raised her blade with shaking hands. Ethan stepped forward. No one is processing anyone. The hunters laughed, a deep, echoing sound that chilled the air. You are outnumbered. Your bones are weak. Your species is dying. Ethan smiled coldly. Maybe, but I'm still standing. The leader snarled, tired of waiting. Capture him. The hunters charged. Lyra activated her blade. Lyra activated her small energy shield. Ethan grabbed a sharp piece of shuttle metal like a makeshift spear. But something strange happened. Their hands brushed for a moment. Ethan's right hand touched Lyra's and Lyra's shoulders for just a second. A spark of blue-gold light burst between them. All three froze. Lyra gasped. What was that? Lyra's eyes widened. A bond spark. The hunters kept charging. Ethan didn't have time to think. He held both sisters' hands. The spark grew brighter. Suddenly, a wave of energy exploded outward from their bodies. A shockwave of blue and gold. The hunters were thrown back violently, crashing into rocks. Ethan stared at his glowing hands in shock. What did we do? Lyra breathed heavily. It's real. The ancient bond between a human and chosen mates. We read about it, but no one has ever seen it. Lyra looked at Ethan with awe. Your emotions, your protectiveness. They combined with our energy. Together we are stronger. Ethan blinked. So we just unlocked some kind of superpower. By holding hands? Lyra actually laughed. Yes, exactly that. But the hunters recovered quickly. The leader roared, impressive, but useless. The elite warriors charged again, faster this time. Ethan didn't think. He stepped forward. Lyra grabbed his arm. Lyra grabbed his shoulder. The blue-gold bond flared again. A thin energy shield formed around them. Unfamiliar yet powerful. Hunter claws struck the shield and bounced off. Lyra gasped. This is our bond ability. It protects us when our hearts are one. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Hearts are what? Lyra blushed. We trust you, and you trust us. That is enough, Ethan smirked. Then let's trust harder. They moved. Together like one living creature, Ethan swung his metal spear. Lyra slashed with her glowing blade. Lyra jumped between them, boosting the shield each time a hunter attacked. The elite warriors fell back. Confused. Ethan shouted, full of new confidence. Yeah, surprised? Humans can do more than breed. Lyra giggled despite the danger. Lyra grinned proudly, but the hunter leader stepped forward. Towering, glowing, rage burning in all four eyes. You are dangerous. It growled. You three must die. It lifted a massive hammer-like weapon made of crystal and bone. Ethan felt the shockwave before it hit. He grabbed both girls tightly. The bond glowed even brighter. They jumped aside as the ground exploded behind them. Lyra yelled, Ethan, we need a plan, Lyra added. Or a miracle. Ethan looked up. The forbidden moonstorm was gathering above them again. Lightning danced like blue serpents. An idea sparked in his mind. Then we use the storm, Ethan said. Both sisters nodded at once, trusting him completely. Ethan tightened his grip. Follow me. And don't let go of my hands. Their bond glowed like a star. And together, they ran straight toward the heart of the storm. The final battle was coming, and Ethan finally felt strong enough to face it. The storm above the forbidden moon roared like a living beast. Blue lightning danced in the sky, spiraling into a giant vortex. The air crackled with raw energy, pulling at Ethan, Lyra, and Lyra as they ran toward the storm's center. Behind them, the hunter leader charged, smashing the ground with its massive crystal hammer. Human! It roared. You cannot escape. Fate! Ethan didn't look back. He held both girls' hands tightly. Fate doesn't control me, he said. I control what happens next. The storm winds hit them like a wall. Rocks lifted into the air. The ground vibrated with ancient power. Lyra's hair glowed. Nira's eyes shimmered with fear and trust. "Ethan," Nira whispered, "if we enter the storm, we may die." Ethan squeezed her hand gently. "Or we may finally win," Lyra nodded, fearless. "Together, we can survive anything." The hunter leader roared again and leapt forward. The shockwave from its landing sent Lyra stumbling. Ethan pulled her back just before the hammer smashed the stone she stood on. The leader pointed its claws at Ethan. "You belong to the hunters. Your DNA will strengthen our bloodline." Ethan's eyes hardened. "No, my future belongs to them." He pulled Lyra and Nira close at that moment. Their hands touched again. A huge spark of blue-gold light erupted. Their bond ignited like a star. The hunter leader squinted. "Impossible. The human bond is a myth," Ethan smirked. "Then consider U.S. mythbreakers." The storm vortex began to drag them inward. Lightning circled above like spiraling halos. Lyra shouted over the wind, "The storm responds to life energy. If our bond is strong enough, it will protect us." Nira hugged Ethan's arm tightly. "Then don't stop believing in us." The hunter leader leaped forward, raising its hammer to crush Ethan's skull. Ethan didn't dodge. He lifted both girls' hands high into the air. All three of them shouted, not in fear, but in unity, together. A blinding explosion of blue-gold light burst from their bond. The shockwave hit the hunter leader mid-jump and sent it flying backward like a broken puppet. It smashed into the rocks, roaring in pain. Lightning struck the ground around Ethan, Lyra, and Nira, but it didn't hurt them. Instead, it absorbed into the bond. Their bodies glowed brighter. "The air at UMMED. Nira gasped. "We are connected to storm." Lyra looked at Ethan with wide, awed eyes. "Your emotions are feeding it, your courage, your fear, your love." Ethan froze for a moment. "Love?" Lyra blushed deeply, but nodded. "Yes, that's what this is." Nira buried her face in Ethan's chest. "We chose you because our hearts felt safe with you." Ethan felt something unlock inside him, something warm, deep and real. Before he could speak, the hunter leader rose again, badly damaged. Armor broken, eyes furious. It stumbled forward. "You cannot win. Human emotions are weakness." Ethan stepped in front of the girls, his entire body glowing with storm energy. "No, their strength. The greatest strength in the universe." Lightning wrapped around Ethan like armor. Blue-gold light pulsed from his hands. The hunter leader roared and swung its hammer one last time. Ethan pulled Lyra and Nira close and thrust their joined hands forward. Beam of storm-powered energy blasted from their bond straight into the hunter leader's chest. The creature screamed as its armor shattered. Lightning devoured it from the inside. The leader collapsed, trembling, then dissolved into glowing dust carried by the wind. Silence. The storm calmed. The sky opened. Lyra covered her mouth. We did it." Nira hugged Ethan tightly. "You saved us. You saved yourself. You saved everything." Ethan looked at both of them, exhausted, bruised, glowing faintly. "You two saved me first." The storm quieted completely, its energy dispersing into soft blue clouds. For the first time since they landed, the moon felt peaceful, but something else happened. The small AI device on Ethan's belt flickered back to life. Reproduction protocol update. Bond level reached. Maximum. Family status confirmed. Ethan blinked. Family status? What does that mean? Lyra's cheeks glowed bright pink. Nira hid behind Lyra, embarrassed. The AI continued, emotional bond stable. Life sign merging detected. New life beginning. Ethan's eyes widened. What? New life? Wait, who? Lyra took his hands gently and guided them to her stomach. Nira placed his other hand against hers. Both girls were blushing. Lyra whispered, The bond spark, it didn't just protect us. It created something new, Nira nodded softly. Your DNA and our energy mixed together, faster than normal. It is the first hybrid life. Ethan felt his heart stop, then explode with emotion. Was speechless. Father, husband, protector of his species, all at once. Lyra looked into his eyes, trembling but happy. You saved our mother once. Now you saved the galaxy. And now you will save your species too. Nira hugged him from behind. We are your family, today and always. Ethan wrapped his arms around both of them, for the first time since waking. Up in the cryopod, he felt home. The forbidden moon sky shimmered with soft blue light, as if blessing the new future. Ethan whispered, We fight together. We survive together. We live together. And for the first time in 70 years, hope returned to humanity.